Good morning and welcome to the craft room. I'm Ellie Barnes. I'm here today to show you another card. We're going to use the Sweetness of Nature set. But before we get going, I'll just make sure I am coming live in the right spot. I hate to go live somewhere else. It looks like I am. That's good news. So we're looking at doing the Sweetness of Nature card. It's again out of the Celebration, it's out of the mini catalogue, but I wanted to mention Celebration for those that aren't aware. If you spend $90, you get a free product out of the Celebration brochure, which is this one. I've got it open. Let's get it to the front. This one here. So you can get something for free by spending $90, or if you join up, you can either get this wonderful glass mat that you'll see on my desk, or you can get $51 worth of extra products in your joining up package. And it's a great time to join up. So if you want to join up and you want to be part of my team, give me a hoya after this or any time, and I'll help you. But that's only this month of February, so it's a big bonus. We've had a couple of people very interested, and I hope that if you are interested, it's a great way to save on getting Stampin' Up products. But I'm just going to leave it at that because we don't want to be here all day. I know I don't. I've got things I'm going to today. I'm going to learn how to make resin earrings today after this, but we'll get down onto the board. So let's turn you down. Oh, the board's empty. I haven't put my catalogue on there. Here we go. Let's get that on there. Now I can see we're upside down. Let's get us all the way around the right way so you can see. That looks a bit better. Okay, so we're using this catalogue today, and I've got in here, I did mark it, it's fallen in I think, somewhere in here we are. We're using this set. It's called the Sweetness of Nature, and you get a whole lot. It is one of our more expensive sets, but you do get two stamp sets with matching dies, so that's huge. You get this beautiful paper that's got a lot of gold. One side's completely gold and the other side's completely not gold. It's got the colours of pecan pie and pebble path, and you get these little cork blings in cork, and some twine that's leather with gold on it. We're using the lot, so you'll get to see everything. And they give you hints over here. Remember, you can always get ideas of cards from the catalogue, so they give you there. And if that's not enough, you've got another page here full of ideas with the more details on the stamp sets. So plenty of information in the catalogue on this suite. Now, I'm going to get started straight away. Where am I starting? I'm going to start with bringing in the trimmer, and I'm going to use the colours out of the set. So I'm using Pecan Pie. Now this is just half a piece of cardstock, and so it's ready to fold, and I'm just going to fold it with the bone folder. How I've discovered this is a new trick for those that are just joining me or join me for the first time, is this gives you the perfect fold where all the joins meet up, and you skip the step of having to score it first. Now on my card, I'm going to put on a piece of this paper. Now this is one of the pieces. This has got some gold the gold's on this side. This has got the gold on this side. It's beautiful leaves in gold, and on this side it's got writing in pecan pie and pebble path, and it's just looking like a bit of grungy note paper, and that's what this set really holds itself to. Now I'm trying to think what size I'm going to do this at. I did have it written down. Yes, 8.5 by 10 by 11.5. So this set's really a botanical set. It's the type of thing that you'd think, oh, a botanist notebook or something like that. So we're going to do that. Now, what else do I need? I've done a few little bits beforehand because I've cut a few bits because I knew I'd be here for quite a while if I didn't. So I've actually cut holes in, and you'll see how to do that because I have to do another one. These two pieces, which are again 11.5, and they're 1.5 wide. And they're going just to go on top of here to give it some more dimension. And I needed that's a little piece that was left over, and I thought I can use that. So we'll pop that down. We want this card to have a fair bit of dimension. Now this piece is going to be 11.5 as well. So this is just a bit of off cut. It's again 1.5 centimetres wide, but it was just a bit of off cut I had, and that's why I based everything on 1.5 centimetres, because it's going to work. Now I've got to die cut that, so I'll pop that there. This is a bit of scrap. I'm going to die cut that. I'm going to put the dies on. I should show you the dies on the set, shouldn't I? The first set we're using, I've just thrown a die off it, is this set, and I'm going to die cut. We get it in here so you can see it. We're going to use a few of these stamps. I'm using these two as background stamps. I'm going to die cut these 3 pieces out. So this one, we'll die cut this out. And I worked out that it's not going to fit exactly how I want, and I'll show you a trick on how to do that. Then I wanted to just put a bit of colour in. I know the sweet doesn't have any colour in it, but being a botany sweet, I thought we'd put some granny apple green in, and so I'm just going to cut these little leaves out with that one. And I will cut this one out, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that in a minute. So that's out of that sweet. And this sweet, Sweet and Lovely, we're going to use this flower, and we're going to use these two as background stamps in the inside of the card, and we're going to use this piece here. So, and to cut things out, first I want a tab. This is a tab. So I'm going to cut that out there using that bit of scrap paper. And again, this is just out of the pack, and it's on the back, it's all brown lines, as if it's a bit of note paper with columns. And this side is gold cursive writing, which sort of goes with the cursive writing on that piece. And it's gold on it's on Pebble Path. So we've got a few things happening here. First thing, before I start all my cutting, is I'm going to do a bit of stamping. So I'll bring in a stamp mat. And I want to cut this piece out of here, but I don't want it white, but I don't want it completely granny apple green like this one. So I'm going to watercolour it. Now this isn't watercolour paper, it's just the normal cardstock, so I don't want to get it too wet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring a bit of colour in from the stamp pad, and my brush, I've just squeezed a bit of water down. I'll just put that like that, and I'm just going to so it's not completely wet, it's not a true watercolour, it's just giving a bit of colour. I don't want too much, I don't want it too white on the edges, so in case my leaves appear too white. But that's just going to give it a lighter colour and a bit more fun and movement compared to that one. So that's it for the granny apple green. And while that dries, we'll put that die with it, and that one's going with that. If I line up all my dies, we'll know where we're at. We'll put those pieces are ready. While that dries, I'm going to, I might stamp the flower. We'll do that first, eh? Where did I put the flower stamp? Over here. So we'll bring in a big piece, and I'm going to use actually, this is a little hint. This stamp is slightly bigger than the stamp pad. And I like to give you a few different hints, so feel free to try out anything new. But this is easier than picking up the stamp and trying to get it to ink all over. When you've got the large stamps, that's the best way to do it. Or if you're using the ink spots, which some of my girls do. And there we are. Now, I want, this little bit here is not going to be usable for what I want. So I'm just going to ink up that corner again. And it doesn't matter. I'm just going to use that little bit of wording called figure B. And it looks like, I can't even say what it says. I think it's a prunus something or other. Now we'll just pop that stamp over there so it's out of the road. I'm also going to stamp up my greeting, which is going to be just sending a bit of love your way. So that's got those ready. My greeting, let's get these. My greeting is going to be cut out with this one. So we'll cut him out. And we'll put him aside. He's ready to go through. No, he's not. I didn't allow. Now there's, not thinking, I haven't allowed enough room. The die comes off the edge. I'm going to have to stamp him again, aren't I? Oh, sometimes we just rush, and we stop thinking. We're thinking about the next thing, not the thing we're currently doing. We'll put him down here and we'll go here and we'll make sure he has plenty of room. We'll cut that one off. Now, we'll put that aside. I can use that somewhere else. Now we've got plenty of room to cut him out. This one, if I was out in the field doing some botany work using a notebook and I had a piece of information, I might not have a pair of scissors I can get my hands on. So I'm just tearing this out and I'm breaking a fingernail doing it. There we go. I've just torn that out and that's going to go onto the card like that. So let's get back to where we were. Now, I did have a scrap of paper I was going to use because I've got, here it is. Just so that I keep my stamp mat clean. I don't want to spend ages colouring in today. So I'm going to do it a quick way. I'm just going to use the blender brushes to colour in the green leaves. Oh, I've got it on the flower, but that's all right. I'll put some colour above it. Now you can see the heaviness here. That'll be cut off when I die cut out the flower. Or the stem of no, I want just a bit in there. All that'll be cut off, so we won't see all that. So this is just a quick way to add some colour to your card. And again, I'm using the same Granny Apple Green. So I've used the same colour 3 different ways. I've watercoloured, well, heavy watercoloured, not too wet. I'm going to die cut out some cardstock, and now I've just used the blender brush to add a bit of colour. So it's picking up the same colour, but putting it in on 3 different levels. Oh. And this is Petal Pink. And again, I'm just going to the nuts on the, or type of nut or whatever it is on there. I'm just going to bring a bit of colour into them. Don't mind if it's a bit heavier. And on this flower, might need it a bit heavier because I've got some green on it. There we go. I think that's all right. I might actually put a bit of a heavier bit on that bit too. So that's given us some colour. Now let's get some of these things die cut out that we've got prepared. Now I'll just put them over here. I know you can't see them, but if I put them all on the side here, we can get them through. Bring the machine in. I just thought if I can get all the die cuts done at around the same time, we'll be quicker. So we'll load up the machine. This is the cut and emboss machine. So there's my leaves going to be cut out there, my stem of leaves. My little green stem, and I know you can't see, so I'll move it up. My little green stems are here. Now, I want only 3 sets. I'm going to put him down the middle. We'll put him here. There's 3 sets of 3 holes. I only want to use 2 sets, so I'm keeping this hole off the cardstock. That one, so it's not on the cardstock. Now we can pop this one here. Just move him over just a tad, I think. And this one here. So here we are, we're going to cut out all these pieces. Hang on, I've got to get the writing up the right way. Needs to be that way. I'm going to cut out all these pieces at once. So I'll just bring that down for a second while we pull all these off. So there's our greeting. Our tab. The Granny Apple cardstock leaves. There's our line of holes, but I don't know if you can see, it has a line here. Now that's actually a tear line, so you can make it a card where you can tear off a bit. That goes right through, or I'm using it as the front of the book that I'm pretending our card has. So I want this line to continue, so I'll show you how I'm going to do that in a minute. Here's also, and you can see what I mean about watercolouring it compared to the leaves that are just straight. It just gives that a different level or a different bit of interest. So we get that aside. Now when you cut these out, you get all these little dots. You can throw them away, but you also can use them in different things. They can be used on the front of your card, or you can hold them for little shaker cards or whatever. I get a bit funny with throwing things out that I think, oh, I could use that again. Now, I'm just going to trim this down so it fits, so I can get 2 things through at once here. So I'll just, here you go, this bit. I'm just trimming these pieces off so that that flower will fit in along with this, which I need to put through again. So we'll move the machine over again, and I'll show you what I mean when I'm going to do. I'm going to line up these holes again here. And it's lined it all up. It's clicked into place. You can feel when it's in the right spot. And I'm just going to put that on there. And I'm going to run it through again. And I'll have to make sure I do that. Just check that just before we do this bit. Before we put it through. And here I'm just going to cut it out. So you can see it actually doesn't cut out the words, which is why I stamped them separately. And we'll just get that lined up. And we'll check that's in the right spot. And we'll run this through. Now, I'll just take this out of the road. So we have our flower, and I know you probably can't see, but if I hold it up, you might be able to see that that line now continues right along, so that the whole piece is covered. And we'll get rid of that and the dies, and we'll keep going. So I've done most of my elements, but that's a pretty boring piece of cardstock there. So I'm going to do some things to give it some zhoosh, give it some atmosphere, I guess. Oh, not atmosphere, but give it a bit of a feeling that it's a bit of a used bit of book. So the first stamp is this one, which says Field Notes. And I'm going to stamp that in the corner. And then down the bottom here, I'll bring it up. I've got this grid paper which is similar to, where did I show it? It was on the back of that one of them, this one. I've got this stamp that's similar to that, so I'm just going to put that down the bottom. Now, I'm going to also add heaps of dots around the edge. Some full and some I'm stamping off. And there's going to be no reason or rhyme or reason as to how I'm going with it. I just want this to look a bit used. Put some in there, a full one there. Might have to be a bit more needed up the top there. And I might put another one under here. And we might need a bit more under here. I think that should cover everywhere I'm covering. Perhaps a little bit here. Right. So that gives it a bit of a messier look, or a bit of a grungier look. I'm also going to do similar on the inside, but I'm just going to use the dots. Better put this back down so I can stamp off. And again, we need to go up the side here. So I don't make a mess on the other side of the card. I can fold the inside in half. And I think that should give us plenty of coverage there. Then I'm going to take my sponge. And it gets a bit grotty in the corners, these notebooks. And sometimes down the side where your hand would be holding it. Maybe along the bottom a bit. So it's just given it a bit more of an aged or used look. And I'll just do the same on the inside of the card, so that when they open it up, it sort of matches in. So our botanist has been busy working. Now we'll go back to the front and let's start putting a few things together. Now, the first thing I want to put together, I might get my bone folder and fold that again so it sits a bit flat for us. The first thing I want to do is, and I didn't do the lines, I'm just going to quickly do it. I hate doing this off camera, but I'm going to quickly do this. I meant to run this one through too. So we'll just quickly run this one through. So that we can pull together our notebook. Nearly there. That saves a few minutes of bringing that in and out. So I'm going to grab my twine and I want to make a piece a bit longer than that. So we'll just cut it here. And this could be interesting because I think that might be cut in a bit of the wrong place, because they've been all cut separately. They sort of will go together as best they can. But that one might fit better that way. That's not too bad. And then this one, will it fit on this way? Because it's a homemade book. The botanist has put it together. Bits of their work. So I'm just going to, actually I lace it through underneath, I think. So I'm just lacing this leather twine. And I don't know if you can see, it is leather, but on both the front and the back is gold. It's a bit hard to see on camera, but it is flashing there a little bit. So we're just going to lace this through. And just got to be a bit gentle. You don't want to tear the holes open. Like so. So there's our book. Now I'm going to tie a knot in the end of both of my ends so that the book doesn't come apart. There you go, broke a nail. No, just a bit of nail polish off. And again on this end. And actually by having it at the back, it gives you a bit more room to use it to tie the knot and get the knot where you want it. It means you don't have to cut as much off. Because I just want the knot underneath. See, we can get that to go just there like so. And then I'm just going to trim a little bit off. I don't want too long. So that's our book created. Ooh, card went flying. So our book's going to sit on the page there, but when I had this little piece left over, I thought, I've got to use it. So we'll just glue it, and we're going to use the gold side just to bring a bit of sparkle. I know botanists' notebooks may not have that much sparkle in it, but why not? And I'm just going to glue that on the edge there. And if you, just like that, that looks fine. So I'm just going to sit it there to dry. Now, our botanist has been out collecting, and down the bottom of the card will be this lovely piece of greenery, but I want to save some for inside the card too. How much will I need? I think I could cut it off. I'll cut it off here. I think that will be all right. Don't need a lot for inside the card. And I think we'll just do it so that it's running through like so. So that it's just underneath the notebook. So we'll just pop that on. Couple of dobs of glue. Get glue stuck to my fingers. And I'm going to pop my notebook, and it's going to sort of just sit along here. So you can see that that bit of botany comes out underneath. We've still got the words field notes and just a bit of a grunge type look. So again, a bit of multi-purpose glue. And I'm just going to hold it for a minute because I want it to stick down, particularly this side where the leather is. Right. And this page has got a tab on it. We can put the tab underneath a bit or on top so that she or he has gone to the page to do the work. And I'm going to put a little bit of greenery here. Can go on top. It's been collected in the field. A little twig of tiny leaves. And I'm going to leave it fairly loose so that it's sort of, I want it over a bit more than that. So it sort of floats. Now for our flowers, I'm going to use dimensionals for them. So I'm a big one for dimensionals. I like lots of dimensionals so they sit up where they're supposed to. Now, what else? We need one here, one up here, one here, and a couple here. That should hold it sitting up nicely. So, get my pick, I might be able to get them off, wrong end. Get them off a bit quicker. Too many on the thing. There we go. And this is just going to go on the page. No, it's not. I've just forgotten a piece. I had another piece of paper. And I want to put this on the page because they often have a piece of vellum between the pieces of art or drawings, botany drawings. So that's going to go on like so. So we'll just put now, to hold it all on, some glue. Now don't put the glue on the vellum, or do put it on the vellum, but don't put it on the vellum where there's nothing on the other side, because if I put some there, it'll go through, you will see it through the vellum. So I just put it all around where I've got my plant, and that will hold it in place. And again, it'll give that feeling of it could fly open or off the page or something. So I'm just sticking that on like so. There. Actually, it can go up a bit more because I've got this little one and I'm going to glue him on. And he's going under the name. So just a little dot of glue, and it just says figure B and whatever it says in that squiggly squirrely script. Now I want my greeting to stand right up. So I actually am going to use big dimensionals, but I want to grab some new ones because I want to work out where exactly it's going to fit. And it's going to fit like so. And I'm going to double dimension it because I want the greeting to stand up above the flower. And the flower already has one set of dimensionals. So, don't worry, all these edge bits will get used. I could have used them on the back of the flower, but I wanted something big and solid so that I knew they were going to be completely over each other. And then just to add even more natural, dimensional type images on the front of the card, we'll pop some cork on. These are the adhesive back corks. And I'm going to use the little one. I'm going to pop one here. And I might pop one up here. And I might pop a big one down the bottom here. Okay, so that's the front of my card. The inside of my card I want to look pretty good too. I want it to sort of have the same feel. So I'm going to make the inside of my card a book too. And to do that, well, first I'm going to stamp on this. So I'm going to bring my stamp mat back. And I'm going to stamp with everything out of the road. I'm going to stamp with Pebble Path, and I'm going to stamp over there. I want a bit there and some there. And I'm also going to stamp down here, Field, Lawn and Garden Monthly. Oh, and I've got a smudge there. Well, I must have ink on my fingers. Let's get my new cloth. This is our new chamois, the nice soft chamois that comes with your glass plate if you sign up. Now, how am I going to get rid of that? I'm going to stamp off, might stamp off twice. And then I've got another little stamp there that could be written over if you wanted to. That hides it. It'll do. What I am going to do though, and I am going to lose some of that. In fact, I'm going to lose a lot of that, aren't I? Might just stamp that in there so it comes out a bit further. I'm going to glue these pieces on. And again, it's a field book, so I don't expect them to be straight. And I'm not worried if they flap around a bit, so I've just put some glue down the middle. And this one's going off on the side. And again, just some glue down the middle. And this one can go sort of a bit that way. And I'm going to bring in this die again. We don't need that again. Just put the lid on that for a minute. And we'll just cut the holes in our book. Now, I can't put the leather strap into it this time. I might just get rid of some of that. Now, this is how you do it. You just get this plate and rub it on it, and it will take all those bits off. I can't put the leather strap inside because it's too thick for inside the card, but I will put the holes. And I can put all 3 holes into this one because it's a longer piece. All 3 sets of holes, I mean. That's 9 holes. I better put it on the plate properly. And I've done it backwards, so I'm going to turn it round. Can't reach the handle if it's that way. We'll do it this way. Pull that out. Now, I've gone through 3 layers here, which is a lot to ask my die, but it has cut through the 3. Did last time. It has. I just have to encourage it. The glue's still a bit wet. I should have waited till the glue dried, but we'll get there. So I just have to push each one of these out. And the easiest way is, if you can't see, I'm just pushing on where the die cut line is, and it's coming out. And sometimes a little bit of the paper from the back comes, but that doesn't matter because no one will see it. And that's got all those cut. We'll just clean up our space. And then I also want to have a bit of this under here. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut it in half. And this piece can go here. And this piece can go here. And we'll just glue them on. In fact, I might bring that one down a bit. We can always trim the end. So just a little bit of glue. If I bring that down to there, we might have a thicker amount of colour underneath. And this piece. So that we've got quite a bit of colour up the top there. Oh, it's stuck to me. Sticky fingers. I'll just wipe them on my chamois again. And then we'll stick this on. Okay. And again, it's not going to be straight. I'm going to make it crooked. Get it all stuck down. There's a bit of glue coming through there. So we'll just cut those ends off and then that's our card done. Oh, a bit much there. And that's our card done. Now this could be, it just says sending a bit of love your way, and it could be a birthday card, or it could just be a greeting card, or even like a hello card, or even a congratulations card. But it's left it up to you how you can use it, but it gives you something a little bit different. The botanist has been at work, and we've got something to show for it. I hope you enjoyed that, and it gave you some ideas. Now I'm going to pop you back up to me. So just watch, we're going to get dizzy. Right, and we're going to go back up to me. Right, hopefully that's got us. Oh, we've got everything. You can see the whole background of my room. What a mess it is. But it's funny when you look at something yourself and you think, oh, well, that shouldn't be all there. We could come down a little bit. Anyhow, I've got a big job to tidy up in here, and I would say to you I'm going to do it today, but it's not going to happen. I'm going to go out and learn how to make some resin earrings, and tomorrow my craft room is north facing, so it'll get very hot in here, being is tomorrow 38? I know a 38-degree day in here makes it like an oven, so I'm not sure when the room's going to get tidy, but it'll get there. It'll hopefully be done before the week's out. Anyhow, have a good weekend, and I hope that you enjoyed that card, and that if you are still interested in getting a bargain through Celebration, either jump on my page and go through the shop through the link, or give me a call or a text message, and I'll help you there. And as I said, if you want to sign up to get the extra bonuses, this is the best month to do it in, because they're giving you an extra $51, or you're getting an extra, you're getting the bonus of a plate, a glass plate and chamois and things. So it depends what you prefer. So it's up to you. But yes, do get in touch with me if that's the case. All right, have a great weekend, and I will be here next week, and I look forward to catching up with you again, and hoping you get crafting this week. Have fun. Bye-bye.